Let's have a look at what England and Jos Buttler has ahead. First of all, Ben Stokes and the selection of Ben Stokes. I noticed Tim Payne last week in his podcast say it was all me, to quote him, about Ben Stokes, basically saying the Stokes decision was a selfish one. I guess you don't see it like that.
No, absolutely not. Ben Stokes' decision is all about, trying to get the most out of his career given the schedule. And when you have the schedule handed to you by the ECB or the ICC and you have to fulfill a certain amount of fixtures per year, you have to take charge of your own game and say, actually, well, what do I want to achieve by the end of my career? Is it World Cups? Is it bilateral series? Probably not in Ben Stokes' case. So I totally understood his decision to retire. I completely understand his decision to make himself available for selection, and I wholeheartedly back him being selected and welcome back into the team, because a Ben Stokes in an England team is a better England team.
It does have repercussions, though. Someone has to miss out, and you could argue the person that's missed out because of Stokes is Harry Brook. Before last night, were you okay with Harry Brook not being in the World Cup squad? After last night, how do you feel about it?
There are no easy decisions as a captain, as a coach, or as a selector. And, pre last night, I totally agreed with the decision that Jos Buttler and Matty Mott and the selection panel would have made, and I still agree with it. It is such a difficult team to get in. Over the years when I was captain, Johnny Bairstow couldn't get into the team. He'd be banging out 100 after 100. I think he averaged 99 in a county season once, and he hadn't played one white ball game right until the end of the season. So tough decisions have to be made, and when you have a genuine chance of winning the World Cup, or you are genuine contenders in a World Cup, those sorts of decisions and those sorts of players just miss out. If somebody gets injured and Harry Brook's to come in, absolutely brilliant. It has a level of acceptance around it, and I'm sure he'd be welcomed in with both arms. He's an unbelievable player.
But you were ruthless before that last World Cup. You left out David Willey and picked Jofra Archer. Can they be ruthless? Because they only have to name their final squad by September the 28th, and then you have to explain to the ICC after that why you're changing it. So they could change it, but you wouldn't?
I certainly wouldn't. A lot of my captaincy was built on trust and confidence, and that trust can be compromised, and that confidence can be compromised in selection. So reassuring selection as early as possible within the squad, and actually using this next period, the month-long fixtures that they have, before they jump on the plane to India, to clarify role, direction, give clarity in exactly what they want to do and achieve while they're in India, is vitally important. And if you change that last minute, unless it is very, very obvious, I wouldn't.
Your captaincy was instrumental in England winning this. What do you make of Jos Buttler? He's playing here tonight. What do you make of his captaincy and how he's standing to lift this thing?
Yeah, I think he's an outstanding captain and an outstanding leader. He was vice-captain to me for 6 or 7 years or so, and to have somebody with the brain that Jos has and the calm temperament mixed with a little bit of fiery nature and the world-class performer that he is as well, is almost a perfect case scenario. When you talk about giving somebody the captaincy, so often you give it to the best player. I believe Jos Buttler is the best player in that England team at the moment. He's captain in one T20 World Cup so far, and they've gone on to win it. So I've no doubt that they will be contenders when it comes to October, November in India.
4 semi-finalists? Put you on the spot. Who are going to be the 4 semi-finalists?
Yeah, here I'll go with the 2 favourites as the first 2. Favourite, home advantage I think is massive. I would pip India ahead of England when it comes to first and second favourites. Then Pakistan, you can overlook them. I think they have all bases covered when it comes to quick bowling, wrist spin and runs at the top of the order. It's very important in India, and reluctantly I'm going to have to say Australia the 4th.
Well, Jos Buttler tonight will be trying to get the Manchester Originals through to the eliminator, through to the final at Lord's on Sunday, and trying to lift the 100 trophy. Pretty soon his mind and his thoughts are going to be on this trophy, trying to become the second England male captain to lift the 50 over World Cup.